All right, welcome guys. So we're gonna be outside, and increasingly, I'm trying to speak to those of you who are bidding on contracts. You've won one or several contracts, and you're kind of at this weird stage that nobody's really talking about, which is why I'm trying to talk about it, which is like, okay, like where do I go from here? Because, you know, you've proven the concept to yourself. You know that you can do government contracting, and you've actually earned, you know, revenue. You've invoiced, you've gotten paid, you've done the whole thing, whether it was a supply buy or a service contract. And foreseeably, you could see, you know, yourself continuing to do this. But man, it's cold. But and it's freaking middle of May. Foreseeably, you want to grow, and you're probably wanting to grow a bit faster than, okay, the past 6-12 months of what you've done. You've proven it to yourself, but you're like, okay, like what's really the next game? There's gotta be more to it, you know, than this. So one of the mistakes that I see folks make with this is they change too quickly from what initially worked, right? So you could try to make the mistake of growing too fast and changing everything that worked for you previously, when in reality, you just need to tweak or modify what you're already doing. And that does mean you need to do some things differently, but it doesn't mean you have to, like, you know, cash in the whole you know, the whole process and systems that got you to where you are now. They may not get you to where you want to be next, but you're still going to need them. You don't want to like fully cash those in. So for example, if you have a current like bid, no bid structure, don't keep changing that to say, you know, well, these are the wrong type of bids, so I need to write new, you know, bid, no bid structure. Like, no, there's probably nothing wrong with your current bid, no bid structure. The opportunities that you're going after, the industries that you're in, the NAICS codes, right, that you're looking under, you don't need to cash all those in. The agencies where you've gained, you know, precious past performance in, you want to hang on to that stuff. And instead, you just want to make small changes at this point. You don't need to make the huge changes anymore. You know, an inch over a time becomes a mile, right? So we want to make inches at the very beginning stages where you haven't done anything, you haven't won anything. Go ahead, you know, try out an umbrella for 3 months. If it doesn't work for you, totally switch it around until something starts to stick. But now you're already starting to build. So don't make the mistake of stopping what you're already doing. You know, you don't want to stop what's bringing in the revenue. You just want to enhance it or add to it. You don't want to go back to zero and start all over. That's kind of like this manic, you know, kind of crazy loop that I see a lot of you guys that are still beginners, but you're not new. You get into this crazy loop of where you feel like you want to just restart everything because you're feeling like nothing's working anymore if you've won a few, and then now you've been bidding for 3 months and you haven't gotten your next win, or maybe even 6 months and you haven't gotten your next win, and you're like, you know, I must be doing something wrong. And so you got to change everything. You're not doing anything wrong. You probably just need to make some of those tweaks. So, I mean, like, let's talk about some of those tweaks. I think that would be valuable to you. So at some point you do need to delegate, and you know, it's up to you. I'm not saying to bring on a full-time person, hire them, put them on salary, have all this overhead expense to your business. That's not what I'm considering at all. But if you do have a low-hanging fruit in terms of a spouse, maybe you have a niece or a nephew who's going through college, or you can even reach out to local colleges for like an intern. Your delegation can be something that changes you as an owner, because now all of a sudden you're not doing everything. And what happens when you're not doing everything, you get to start to look at things differently. And I mean, I can't tell you from when I was bidding contracts and doing everything myself and running a full desk, winning, managing, whatever, to then working with, over these past, since, 2019, 2020 into COVID, and then the last few years, and then up to today, working with hundreds of other small government contractors to come into the space. I can't tell you the vantage point, the advantage, the benefit that I've gained from what I've seen. Because the more data points, the more numbers, the more examples you have in front of you, and I have hundreds and thousands at this point, it's very easy for me to categorize and put into groups new government contractors. And I see you guys make the same mistakes, or I see you do the same success things that lead to your first wins. You have to be an imbecile to not recognize these very simple patterns. But when you're down on the ground floor and you're not up on the mountain, you can't see that far yet. You have no idea. Everything is equally weighted. You don't know what's up, down, right or wrong for you, because you're just getting started and you're just figuring it out. And that's why I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to talk to you. As somebody who has been in the space for over 13 years, and I can see so much further, like Lion King. I can see all the light areas and I can see all the dark areas too, where you want to stay away from and what's going to be beneficial for you. And as I said, this isn't for new GovCons, this video. I'm not talking to you in this video. I'm talking to those of you who have won some contracts and you're kind of feeling like stuck. You're getting frustrated. You're getting agitated. And so, as I was saying, delegation is one of those things that at some point, when you start passing on your processes, your systems, your lists, your frameworks, and you're giving it to somebody that's going to ensure that it's going to get done, you then get to put more energy and focus into other things. That's going to be your first big step up. That's going to let you see further. Someone has to stay steering the ship. If you're steering and then you're running down to row in the engine room, turning the engine on, whatever, running back up, steering, making modifications, you're not going to go anywhere beyond where you already are. And you're going to tear down and you're going to build up and you're going to tear down and you're going to build up. So you have to start putting things in place. And one of those tweaks, as I said, is through delegation. And it's like, I'm not overemphasizing it because there's not much more to say about it. Take what you're already doing that is working and give it to someone to ensure that continues to happen so that you don't tear your business down trying to chase other things because you think something's wrong or broken or you need to do something differently. You need to lock that piece in so that you can move on to the next thing. If you can't lock it in and you're still doing it, you're going to drive yourself crazy trying to do all these things at once. And it's just not going to work. It's not going to work in federal contracting. So delegation is a huge thing. And like I said, it can be a spouse, it can be a niece or nephew, it can be a college intern. It doesn't have to be a full-time salary, anything crazy. I'm not recommending at all that you go out and put all this overhead onto your business. Figure out something, okay? Commission only, give them some equity, or just, let them get some on-the-job training. Working with you, it can be remote. They don't have to be at your home office or whatever, right? Just kind of get creative. Delegation can be a really good thing for you. At this stage, you can also, in terms of tweaks, you can also start to look at softwares. And I've been very outspoken against softwares, but that was 3, 4, 5 years ago. Things are advancing so quickly with AI, and there are a lot more affordable softwares. There's even a software that I've built out for small businesses that I work with, but you can find things that will save you a lot of time, and that can be the way for you to kind of spend less time on the things that are working for you, and then to reinvest the freed up time into these new things that are going to take you to new heights. Okay, so any tools, efficiencies, Or it could just, be doing like an audit of your current systems, how you spend your time. I had this conversation with a few of my clients in my coaching, and they're working a 9 to 5, and for a while they had struggled to kind of balance. Well, how do I do both, right? And so we were able to put some things in place, and it's not that they needed more time, because we all have 24 hours in the day, but what sort of distractions can we take off the table? What can we come back to in terms of gaining clarity, so that we are super clear on what needs to be done? And then all of a sudden, before you know it, you're able to start finding these little pockets of time throughout the day where you are able to be really intentional, because you've gotten a lot of clarity and now you're super focused on what you need to do. And then all of a sudden you get some momentum and you're getting these things done, and you're like, wow, that's the shift that I needed. So much of this is, psychological. Some of it is operations. Very little of it is about the actual, tips and tricks, and strategy. Strategy is like, are you being effective, right? Is the approach that you're taking going to work? Like playing to your win conditions. Do you know what you need to do to win contracts? Like that's not a mystery. It's the most plain and simple thing in the world. It's the bid on contracts. And you will win a percentage of the contracts you bid on. If you're better, you will win a higher percentage. And if you are not so good, you will win a lower percentage. But by and large, and inevitably, the longer you're in the game, the more you're bidding, the higher your probability of winning, and the more contracts you're going to win. You want to make more money? Bid on bigger contracts. Or find creative solutions to bring to the government. Or are you teaming, or are you self-performing? Lean more to self-performing over time eventually. That will make you a lot more money and make you a lot more competitive with the government. So, these are known things. These things have existed for decades and decades and hundreds of years. This is not news, right? But what's not really being talked about, and I don't even know how many of you guys that this is actually resonating with. I know we have a lot of the brand new folks in the space that may say, what is this guy talking about? But I'm willing to bet that there's one or two of you that are watching this that have won contracts, and you're feeling like you're in this space that I'm trying to describe. I'm trying to describe you, and I'm trying to help you and give you some tactical advice from the real clients that I work with, that I really see. And I know there's more of you guys out there that can benefit from hearing this. And really the first step with these tweaks really is, like I said, it's to, number one, stop trying to tear down your business and redo everything because you think something's wrong. Just stop, okay? Just doing nothing. Just sticking to your fundamentals of what worked for you. That's great, because you've already invested time and discovered something. Then number two, okay, how can we put that pin in there? How can we lock that in place? Or how can we create more efficiencies, do audits, cut any of the fat so that, instead of putting 100% of our time into what we're currently doing, we're going to put 60%, and now that frees up 30 or 40% to go to the next level, right? Or you're going to delegate to go to the next level. Or maybe you can get some low-hanging fruit software that will help you do this as a tool and go to the next level. So, let's talk a little bit about what that next level is to kind of round this out. Since we know what the win condition is, as we've defined it, the only thing that matters is bidding contracts. And it's not recklessly bidding, it's not bidding without improvement, and it's not bidding without, building relationships. When I say this, some of you guys seem to think, oh yeah, let me just blindly bid, it's a numbers game. That is not what I've ever said, that's not what I meant, and that is not even the numbers game. That's a misleading definition that you guys have all created. That's not something I've ever said. You have to bid strategically. When you bid, you need to build relationships so that you can return to that contracting office on future bids. You need to do these things simultaneously. Okay, it's just, focusing on bidding, playing the numbers game is an easy wrapper and packaging for it, but you need to open it and understand what that actually means and what that actually consists of in terms of the activities you need to be doing and focused on. Okay, big difference between just like blindly bidding. Okay, so going to that next level, you have to improve your win rates and you have to bid more, because those are really the only two things that you can do. And if you want, you want to improve your profitability. Okay, so really like three things: bid more, improve the rate at which you win, and then increase the amount of profit that you make per job. That's how you grow your business. Okay, that's where you're gonna take the 30-40%, the next level, to start trying to solve those problems. How can I bid more? Well, we talked about delegating, right? We also talked about software. If you're putting out 3 to 5 quality bids, and I'm talking about like service contracts, guys, with actual proposals. I'm not talking about RFQ, slap a price on it, doing 3 to 5 a month. I don't even recommend that you focus on those at all, personally. And I talk about that all the time in other videos, so I won't explain myself here. But if you want to go from like 3 to 5 to 5 to 10, oh my goodness, that's a huge jump. 5 to 10 quality service contract bids submitted, including construction, including projects. I'm not just talking about like staffing or janitorial when I say services. These are service NAICS codes as well, guys. Going to 5 to 10 is going to totally require something very different from you, and likely it's not going to be just you the only one doing it, right? If you've been teaming and you want to increase your profitability and you do have a number of contracts under your belt, take over one of the contracts that you have. Okay, tell your sub thanks. Communicate with the government, of course, get everything approved, and then do a job posting and bring your own people in and manage. Instead of managing a sub, manage your own people. At the end of the day, it's not so different, but you're gonna make a lot more money in terms of profit. I always recommend long term you move into self-performance. Just we and many others talk about teaming in the context of getting started in the space when you don't have past performance and you don't, you know what I'm saying? You're still figuring things out. So then you would work with a team to fill those gaps. But then as you gain past performance, as you learn and pay attention and are involved in those contracts, why wouldn't you take them over? So that's like a growing conversation that I want to start and continue having with you guys who have won multiple contracts now. You're not brand new. You didn't just get your cage code. You've been doing this for 6 months to a year plus, and you're kind of feeling like you're needing to go to that, the next level. And the next level doesn't mean that you're an advanced, government contractor. You still feel like you're wondering when your next contract is going to come from. You got a contract for a couple years, but it's not bringing in that much money every year. Maybe you're making 10, 20, 30K, something like that, 40K, because you've got base and option periods. Or maybe you did a project for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and you got paid. And now you're like, what about the next one? Maybe you did a few of those. Or maybe you just did a bunch of really small supply buys, but you're like, there's got to be more than this. How do I get bigger and how do I get more? That's the conversation that I'm seeing, I'm paying more attention to the past 12 months, but, especially like this year, I'm more interested in that conversation these days because I've made so many videos in the past for brand new folks. And at some point, you're either going to do it or not. And, a lot of you guys you don't make it, because you're too distracted or you're just feeling this stuff out. So that's why I'm making this video for those of you guys who are investing a lot of time in this. You're putting a lot into it. And I want to help you try to get more out of it. So hope you enjoyed our little walk and talk around the lake today. Drop me a comment if you resonated with this. If you were one of the few people who have won contracts, would really like to hear from you. And then you can always email us, support@govkidmethod.com, if you have any questions about ways that I can help you, or anything like that. So I guess we'll go ahead and end it here, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new, welcome. And thanks for checking me out.